hot mess that they air in the mornings called The View had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side. And then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered.
Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly just unloaded on The View in a takedown so sharp it could draw blood. What went down wasn't a debate, it was a demolition. Every talking point those hosts cling to got ripped apart piece by piece, leaving nothing but smoke and silence in their wake. The clash was so explosive it felt less like a conversation and more like the knockout punch in a championship fight you'll want to watch on repeat.
Back me the week before. Sure. So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that.
Miss this showdown and you'll regret it. Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly didn't just show up. They charged straight into enemy territory and unleashed a verbal onslaught so ruthless it's melting down timelines across the internet. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill political sparring match. No, this was a roast set to maximum heat. Every quip landed like a scorching slap, every punchline left the View host scrambling for cover. But when 2 heavyweights come armed with razor-sharp wit, cold hard logic, and zero patience for nonsense, the outcome isn't a debate, it's a slaughter.
Navarro, in your wildest imagination, you could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate.
Let's start with Bill Maher. He's not your average late-night comic tossing out safe one-liners. He thrives on stirring chaos, making people squirm, and smashing through the comfort zones of even his own side. When Maher sets his sights on someone, you don't get polite chuckles, you get scorched earth. He's the guy in a game of verbal dodgeball who isn't lobbing soft throws like everyone else, he's gunning straight for your head every time. That's the level of intensity he brought when he locked onto The View, and the first person caught in his crosshairs? Joy Behar. Now, Joy's whole reputation is built on oversimplifying everything into a snappy, half-cooked soundbite. She's the type who acts like she has all the answers, right until you press her with an actual question and watch her fumble. Maher ripped her apart for being as stale and predictable as a rerun sitcom, stuck spinning the same shallow takes like a scratched CD. Behar's whole persona is smug opinions delivered at full volume, followed by a forced joke when anyone dares to push back. Maher wasn't buying it for a second. He laid it bare. Joy's act is nothing more than recycled outrage with the intellectual depth of a kiddie pool. And he said it with the kind of blunt force everyone else has been too afraid to voice.
View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner. We just understand that part of our sorry racial history in this country is that the point of view from a black person is often going to be very different.
Then we get to Whoopi Goldberg, the immovable fixture of The View. Oh, Whoopi. She walks onto that stage like the embodiment of I've been here forever, therefore I must know everything. But Maher wasn't buying the act for a single second. He ripped back the curtain and exposed her so-called wisdom for what it really is, recycled cliches packaged as sage advice. He compared her to that one person at a party who cuts in with, well, actually, only to follow up with something either painfully outdated or completely disconnected from reality. The sarcasm dripped from his voice as he dismantled her guru persona, making it crystal clear, if you want to be the voice of reason, you should probably start by saying something reasonable. And just when you thought the fire couldn't get any hotter, in stormed Megyn Kelly, cold, precise, and unflinching. Where Maher slices with sarcasm, Kelly cuts with sheer steel. No jokes, no soft landings, just hard truths delivered like a cross-exam. She saw straight through The View's polished veneer and went for the hypocrisy underneath. Her first target? Sonny Hostin. Sonny likes to dive into heavy issues of race and justice, but Kelly didn't waste time pointing out how often she ends up floundering. A seasoned lawyer and battle-tested journalist, Kelly doesn't traffic in buzzwords, she deals in facts. Sonny's self-righteous posturing crumbled fast once Kelly started tearing holes through her arguments, leaving her scrambling to keep up. Next came Ana Navarro. Navarro's specialty is preaching political correctness while tripping over her own contradictions, and Kelly didn't hesitate to spotlight every one of them. She called out Anna's double standards, exposing her as a clout chaser more interested in applause than consistency. The smirk Navarro usually hides behind couldn't mask the discomfort once Kelly laid bare the gap between what Navarro claims to stand for and what she actually does. But Kelly wasn't finished, not by a long shot. She circled back to the biggest name of them all, Whoopi. This time, it wasn't banter. It was courtroom demolition. Kelly unleashed her legal background like a hammer, shredding Whoopi's sloppy takes on cancel culture and free speech until there was nothing left standing. Whoopi's wise elder act collapsed completely as Kelly grilled her on the First Amendment, making her look not just out of touch, but reckless. By the time Maher and Kelly were done, The View looked less like a panel of seasoned commentators and more like a group of rookies blindsided in a debate they weren't ready for. It wasn't just a clash, it was a dismantling that wasn't a polite difference of viewpoints, it was a full-on intellectual cage match, and Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly walked away with every last chip on the table. What went down wasn't debate, it was demolition, a masterclass in how to shred shallow narratives and expose the empty applause lines propping them up. The clip that lit the fire? The View crew sneering over Tucker Carlson's exit from Fox. Anna Navarro in particular puffed herself up with smugness, but Maher and Kelly dismantled her whole act without even breaking stride. The irony was brutal. Navarro has never solo carried a show in her life, yet she was dunking on someone who defined an entire primetime slot. Kelly didn't even need to raise her voice, she just sliced through the pettiness with cold precision, reminding everyone that facts don't vanish just because the View panel wants them to, and it only got uglier. Melania Trump was dragged through a round of cheap shots about hating her husband, hating Christmas, and wrecking the Rose Garden, as if that passes for news. Maher all but rolled his eyes out of his head, mocking the idea that this panel of daytime hosts is supposed to be a beacon of truth for the American public. Kelly doubled down, calling it what it was, shallow gossip wrapped in a political BOW. By the time the dust settled, the View panel looked like they'd just been schooled in humility without even realizing the lesson. Maher and Kelly weren't just throwing punches, they exposed the core problem. The View isn't a space for diverse ideas, it's an echo chamber. They proved that when you strip away the hashtags, the smug smiles, and the virtue-signaling monologues, there's not much left but noise. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. Maher, wielding sarcasm and razor-sharp commentary, brought depth born from decades of grappling with real issues. Kelly, armed with legal training and unflinching seriousness, hit like a precision airstrike, clean.